Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another interesting episode of Bias Football Takes. I am your humble host, Oluwaseun Winsala, and I have two great gentlemen holding Nigeria down in terms of football and sports. I have on my right-hand side, Ifedotun. I have on my left, Duwem. What's up? What's happening?
Hello.
What's going on?
AFCON is going on.
AFCON is going on. So for those that don't know, these two gentlemen are joining me today all the way from the special country, the greatest country on earth to some people, Nigeria. To some people, Nigeria.
The
One and only. Now us. So just a quick overview of what we'll be going through today. We'll, in our usual fashion, we'll talk about the EPL weekend games, just review the games. Then we'll briefly talk about Bayern and the Kimmich problem. Then our main topic today, the reason why I brought these two gentlemen on, AFCON, discuss everything about AFCON. Then for the fan favorites, Osimhen and his potential move, or I would say the club that seems to be the one that they want to fans want to get in, Arsenal. There are no games, there are no EPL games this weekend, but I mean are there EPL games this weekend? I'm not sure. But we would preview some of the AFCON games this weekend and we would talk about the Nigerian match this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So gentlemen, how's it going? How is Nigeria?
Well, from my side, Nigeria is quite hot. Shirtless and still struggling. It's quite hot. It's really hot. Yeah, quite hot.
How is business now? How is business now?
Pushing, and surviving.
I see that Dotun is making good money now. I saw that he got promoted. And this gentleman got promoted. The next day, he's already eyeing another company. This guy, relax. He was eyeing another company. So, Duwem, let's just have a quick profile. Tell us what you do in terms of football. I know you are in connection with Nigerian Professional Football League. You make reports, you go to matches, you cover some of those games live. For those that are not familiar with you, for those that wouldn't know you on our show, this is your first time joining us. Can you give us a rundown of what you bring to the table as a football analyst?
Okay. Well, my name is Izuchukwu. Duwem. A lot of people call me Duwem, whichever one you prefer, whichever one is easier for you to pronounce. Duwem, Izu, it's fine. So I'm an editor with Pulse Nigeria, Pulse Nigeria, the brand. So and yes, I cover a range of areas when it comes to sports. MPFL, obviously, because we're Nigerians, I'm quite passionate about anything Nigeria and football. So I am heavily invested in the MPFL and anything that has to do with Nigeria, wherever they are based, So I'm also very big on youth football, grassroots. I believe that the experienced players of tomorrow are the young ones of today. So I covered that extensively as well. So yeah, I think that was the former one about me and what I bring to this particular table. And of course, a Manchester United fan, even though my heart is heavy. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that part of, because I was about to ask you what club you support, because a lot of you guys are disowning United.
No, I'm not disowning United. I don't think I'll ever disown United. Yes, things are not really moving the way it should move, but we're still United fans. and we'll never stop talking about what is wrong with the club. So, but to move away from United, that is not happening. That is not happening. We're not just happy with the way things are. That's just basically it.
What year did you start supporting United?
Ah, oh yeah. I think that was probably 99. I think 99-ish or something.
Oh.
Um, yeah, because I think that was the period where back then in Abuja, DBN they were just running their station also, and they were really using. I was more of a football fan before then, So, and then we moved to Abuja, and DBN they were just running their station,
Mm-hmm.
in Abuja then. So they would always show United games, highlight goals.
Yeah. So, moving on to the last weekend round of games, EPL games. I feel like it was just a just run of the mill matches, nothing exciting. On Saturday, it was Arsenal Crystal Palace 5-0. I don't think there were any surprises there. Brentford Nottingham Forest, return of Ivan Toney 3-2. Brentford won that game. Then Sheffield United, West Ham United 2-2. Bournemouth Liverpool 4-0. So Dotun, which of those games caught your attention briefly?
So, interestingly, I saw all of the games, but I thought the one that caught my attention the most was the Brentford Forest game. There was a lot of noise around the game because of the return of Ivan Toney, and he lived up to expectation. I thought he did very well for someone that had been out of action for 8 months thereabouts. And especially when you consider the fact that Brentford had been on a 5 game losing streak, and they managed to snap it with the return of Tony. So it looks good for them. Obviously, the 5 game defeat, the 5 game losing streak puts them in and around the relegation battle, the relegation spots. But with his return, especially given the fact that Mbemo is injured and Yawisa has gone for the AFCON, Brentford did a boost, and it was good to see them play that way. I mean, in front of their home fans, support everything, and it was also a fantastic winner from New Mopi as well. So I thought it was a very good game, and I also thought that the league did well with the timing. So there was one early kickoff, one late kickoff. So too much. I mean, it was just a 5 game weekend anyway. So no two matches clashed. We were able to watch everything one by one. So it was a
One by
good
one,
weekend
yeah.
all in all. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I missed out on the Monday game. Brighton Wolves was a boring draw.
Yeah, very boring game actually.
I saw. I think I saw all the games. Yes, I saw the games. I think the one that apart from the Brentford one, I saw that one. The one that caught my attention was Bournemouth Liverpool. So at the beginning of the game, it was kind of, I won't say balanced, but Bournemouth were just in and around the game. They were not really bringing out their heads. And this is one thing I've been telling my friends about Liverpool, and I mentioned that many times on this podcast. The way they attack you, they just keep coming in waves. They might not be able to defend properly, but they keep coming in waves such that there's no way you will not give in. It's going to happen that you concede goals. And once you concede one goal, there's potential of you conceding 2 more if you're not careful. So you have to take your chances if you're playing Liverpool. And I feel like they are kind of primed to, I would say, go all the way. I'm not sure if they can go all the way with Man City breathing down their neck. But my question to you is, do you think Arsenal, I thought I was talking about Arsenal. Do you think Liverpool can go all the way to win the league?
um, I won't stick my head out for them. I think City will win the league. City have a number of returning players coming back right at the perfect time, and this is the business end of the season. So I feel like they will get a run of wins together, and With Liverpool, you never can tell what you get, especially since they even have the bad news of Salah being injured as well. So it's tricky. I think they're a good side. I think they'll push. I, I think they can win it. I think if they don't win it, they'll push the eventual winners all the
All
way.
the way.
But if I was to pick a favorite right now or an eventual winner or a prediction or whatever, I won't pick them.
It's crazy how like all of us have just come to the conclusion that City is the like overwhelming favorite.
Okay, so by the time you look at the fact that a player like Kevin De Bruyne has been out since week 1, a player like Erling Haaland has missed the last 6 weeks, and they're just, I think, 1 point or 2 points off the top. Okay, no, there's a game, there's a game in hand somewhere.
Yeah, they have
So
a
I
game
think
in hand, yes.
they're 5 points behind with a game in hand or something like that, and they've
Yeah.
lost practically their two best players. You also factor in Rodri's suspensions, which they also dropped a lot of points in those games, and they're still that close to the top. It means
It's crazy.
most likely when everybody's fit, they'll still be firing as well. So it's not far fetched. I mean, football is very unpredictable. That's why we love football. So we've seen stranger things happen, but in terms of predictions, I think they're still favorites to win this one.
So, Duwem, did you watch any of the weekend games?
Yeah, I think I actually followed AFCON has sort of distracted me kind of from Premier League games. I didn't even know that there were some games, but because of Ivan Tony, because of Ivan Tony, it was easier to follow the Brentford Nottingham Forest game because I was really on his case, following his activity too on social media. When he posted that free meme, that meme with free sort of. So I did watch that particular game, as as if I knew that he was going to score. So I think the Brentford game was the one I watched.
So, Dotu, I know you are the history buff here. Why is everybody complaining about the free kick he took?
Oh, I don't see anything wrong with it, right? It's a little bit of gamesmanship. I've seen it a couple of times before.
Many times.
Yeah, I remember one vividly. PSG versus Chelsea. In that game, Mikel scored for Chelsea. It was Zlatan that did it. So when the ref was counting the ball,
He just
Zlatan just moved. Zlatan and David Luiz just moved the ball a bit, and they moved the foam as well. Yeah, so it's not ideal.
They moved the foam.
I feel like the referees should be looking out, and if they don't spot it, man,
yeah. Because I remember that free kick Henry took I think like twice because
quick free kicks are a normal thing. I don't think the complaint about this one was that it was quick. It was that he moved the ball from the original. As at the time he moved the ball, the goalkeeper had set his wall, and they had picked his position based on the former position of the ball. Yeah. So I feel like the referees did not spot it, or they spotted it and they chose to let it be. So it's not Tony's fault.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So the referees, since they didn't call it, it's their mistake, not mine. Yeah.
So yes, let's move on to Bundesliga. I don't know if you guys have been following the rubbish going on there. How Bayern is really struggling, and apparently when Tuchel came in, he told Kimmich he told the world that he doesn't have a 6 when you have Kimmich playing. I don't know how ridiculous a manager can be to come in and say that. And he also has gone to sign Dyer. Can someone just explain to me what's going on there?
Well, maybe one thing with Kimmich is that, of course, we do know that he can play two positions. So for whatever reason, Tuchel believes that maybe Tuchel just wants him to focus on playing as a right back, or maybe he's sending out message to Bayern that, see, I don't have anybody in that midfield. Let's not pretend that I have somebody. Not because he doesn't believe in Kimmich per se, but simply because he probably believes that Bayern still needs more quality in midfield. let them not just depend on Kimmich, who also plays right back. I think for me personally, I do prefer him as a right back as well. He does get the job done at the midfield, but maybe he's the only person Bayern has right now, or maybe it's also Tuchel himself, because he's not really covering himself in glory at the moment with Bayern, especially.
So Dotun,
So I don't think it's much of but perhaps it's Tuchel's way of. It's not something I believe in. I just feel managers should be able to get the job done, whatever it is you have. If that person can do something, just get on with it until what you need is available, rather than stir up problems where there is none. So I don't think they need this distraction of Kimmich. He's a quality guy who can cover up into positions really, really well. But for whatever reason, Tuchel is probably sending. I think he's taking a leaf from Jose Mourinho's table, where when you want to pass a message, you decide to make, you know, maybe like both adults, something very small.
So Dotun, in that light, why do managers always come into clubs like this and go head to head with one of the I won't call them veterans, but one of the senior players and important players of the club, considering that at some point Kimmich was deemed to be one of the best. I would say top 3 midfielders in the world at some point. Why will you come into a club and say, "Oh, I don't have this position"?
So like Duwem said, it's most likely a profile issue. Profile issue in the sense that he has profiled him in another position, because I don't think he has been on the bench since Thomas Tuchel got to Bayern Munich. He's playing regardless, right? Whether it's in midfield, whether it's a right back, it's even possible that he probably wants to play a 4-3-3 formation and he sees him as an 8, right? So it can be many things put together. But the interesting thing about Bayern Munich is that the managers rarely sign players, right? It's mostly their footballing team, the sports director, and all of that. And that's why they find it very, very easy to switch managers here and there and all of that, because the guys in the background are doing most of the heavy lifting in terms of transfer. So I don't think Tuchel's comments will mean an exit. If Kimmich is going to leave, he's going to leave on his own free will, or because the club has been able to get an agreeable deal or something like that. Because in the real sense of it, I think Kimmich is 27, 28.
Yeah? Is that young?
Yeah, he's young.
Wow.
He's young though.
Yeah, so they're probably, he has plenty of years, and it's obviously of more value to Bayern than even the manager, because nowadays players get 5 years deal, 6 years deal, managers get 2 years deal or 3 years deal. So
quick.
Exactly. So I think it's mostly a profile thing. It's not I want to get rid of this person. Is I see him in a certain light. I want him to do this certain thing, right? And what he's doing for me now, I prefer another person to do it. So I think that's what it is.
That's interesting, because after that statement, it keeps playing him, so it kind of sends mixed signals to the fans and to the player himself. So, do you guys think they're going to win Bundesliga, or our guys Xabi Alonso is going to carry Bayern Leverkusen up to the end?
Well,
I hope Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might. I hope not. But when you consider what happened at some point, it looked like Dortmund would win the league, but somehow Bayern came from nowhere. I hope it's not. Leverkusen are really looking nice, solid, and because of the Nigerian interest there, 2 Nigerian interests there, Teller and Boniface. I hope Leverkusen can do what Dortmund has not been able to do. But like Dotun said, you can't. These guys are just like Man City. You can't write them off until it's actually done.
But also,
You know,
I even saw bits and pieces of their game this night. The beat Union Berlin 1-0.
1-0, yeah.
1-0,
Yeah, and I think they're back to 4 points behind Leverkusen. Mind you, they still have to play Leverkusen once more this season. And by the time you factor in um, squad depth, squad quality, and there's still a long run. Leverkusen is still in Europe and all of these things. Boniface is out in April.
Yes.
I know they signed a
Yeah.
striker. They bought a Boya Iglesias and all of that, right? I mean, it's a similar profile. It's not exactly the best player, but he can do the hold up play. He can do the link up play. It's not bad in front of goal as well. So all the best. I actually like what they're doing there because what they've done is they've managed to create overloads in all sections of the field because of how they play, right? They play this Christmas 3 formation, the 3-4-3 with two number 10s behind the striker, and the two number 10s are their creators, their scorers are like basically 9.5s. They are hybrids. It's just like playing say I'm not comparing them in terms of quality, I'm just saying profile. Say Totti and Piero behind the striker. So you know there's creativity, there's goals, there is magic, there's everything behind. Yeah, so especially with players like Florian Wirtz and all of that. So I appreciate what they're doing. I think they're doing very well, but ultimately there's this aura around Bayern that you know that they're breathing down you. If you look at the attacking talents that they have players like Leroy Sané, Kingsley Coman, Harry Kane, Thomas Muller. You know that they're still going to steamroll opponents and all of that. So I'm just a bit maybe it's hope. Duwem says he hopes that Leverkusen win. Maybe there's that factor too, but I just think that when push comes to shove, Bayern is a bridge too far for them to cross.
So do you think if they don't win this league now, do you think they'll be able to hold on to their stars? Because I know like it's what usually happens when a club is really doing well and people just turn them to Brighton or turn them to
Bayer
Leverkusen. Yeah, if they don't win the league.
That's a very difficult one. I think they have to start by keeping Xabi Alonso, which is looking very bright now, especially since Carlo Ancelotti committed his future to Real Madrid. There were speculations that Alonso would replace him while he goes to Brazil, but all that rumors down now, drain. You know, so I think the first thing is for them to keep Alonso. If they're able to keep Alonso, I think they can keep most of the players they have. It will be disappointing for them to go from playing the sort of football they are playing now, the form they have, and then capitulate. It will be heartbreaking, but they should start by keeping their coach. If they do that, I think they stand a very good chance of. I don't see Boniface leaving next summer. I don't see Florian Wirtz leaving next summer. Shaka as well, Palacios. A couple of Jonathan Tah. They have guys that can stay for another 2-3 years, maybe. So no, I don't think they'll lose their stars.
Yes, so let's move on to the main course, the main menu of today, AFCON. So, Dotun, do you think this is the best AFCON in the past 5 editions?
Okay, so it's been really enjoyable, and there are a lot of factors that have contributed to that. I think the number one factor is the fact that we've grown our exports in Africa, so we have a whole lot of players abroad. You see players like you see teams, not players. You see teams like Cape Verde having 4-5 foreign-based players. You see teams like Equatorial Guinea having players that have played at junior level for some other European teams. You see players like Mozambique fielding an Atletico Madrid player and all of that. So our football has grown, right? Our players have also grown as well. So, and I always tell people my favorite thing about AFCON is that it is a leveler.
Yep.
So for players like maybe Semi Ajayi that is in West Brom that has a proper centre back physique. That in the championship, he just needs to drop his shoulder on a forward, and he has bodied the forward. When you come to AFCON, they have your type at home. So it's a real level. So I think that's my favorite because that's why sometimes you see some stars struggle. Sometimes you see some unknown names blow it up, and all of that. But all in all, I just feel that our football has improved. Well, I mean, there's still the whole anyhowness, disorganization, but it's a whole lot. Like it's improving, it's getting better, and all of that. I personally feel I know that it's a controversial topic, but I feel like if the AFCON was played during the off season, it will be a lot better because there'll be proper commitment from players involved. More often than not, once it gets to December and there's AFCON in January, some players start being reluctant, some clubs start being reluctant because some people will leave, lose their shirts. By the time they come back, it's difficult to win it back. Some of them get there, they get injured, and it's just so I feel like for us to reach full capacity, full potential, right? That's the last step that's left.
So I mean, I was going to ask you about moving the timing or timing of when.
So everybody says it's because of the weather that it's really the humidity is a lot during the summer, so it cannot work and all of that, right? But I don't know in terms of practicability because I know that during the summer, most of the leagues in Africa are on. Right, if you can play league football here during the summer, of course you should be able to play AFCON. Right, we hosted the World Cup in the summer, right? In 2010.
South
Yes,
Africa
I know
did
that
too.
South Africa's weather is favorable and all of that, but there are a lot of countries that have favorable weathers as well. So it's not a matter of sidelining and all that, right? If it say for example this AFCON is being held in the Ivory Coast, right? In June, in July, I will look up for it and see if their league is running. If their league can run and they can host games in their stadiums, and as far as I'm concerned, the stadiums that even host the league games are of lesser quality than the stadiums that host the AFCON. So if those stadiums can withstand whatever weather conditions are in the summer, then I feel like they can do it if they want to do it.
So, Duwem, speaking of moving, speaking of moving the timing, why do you think is only AFCON people are telling to move the time of their tournament? Why not the Asian competition?
Well, I think one reason, I'm not so sure about this, but I think one reason is because I think you have more Africans, um, clubs losing more Africans to AFCON than you have for the Asian Cup. And for most of them, these Africans are also very, very key for their respective teams. You can imagine Bayern Leverkusen, for example, losing Boniface, he was training and then a thigh injury or something. So I think that's one of the reasons. But we have to ignore this, guys. I think at the end of the day, it's just like you have the domestic leagues in Europe. There is something that makes each of the leagues very, very special. And I think for African Cup of Nations, it is the fact that it is every winter in quotes, every January, you have this African Cup of Nations. I think that's what makes it very, very special for Africans and for us. So anybody trying to change it, I'm not saying conversations about moving it cannot, happen, but for now, this is what makes it very special. Mid-season competition for everybody, and then when you just like look at the World Cup, they suddenly moved it from summer to what to December, and everybody played it.
But there's a
Even
big difference, right? When the World
like
Cup
they
was on,
suspended.
exactly. So it's
Yeah, they
that
suspended him.
concurrent running that is the problem. If leagues are
Mm.
nice enough to suspend their leagues,
Oh,
Yeah. So, Duwem, who do you think is the highest goal scorer right now in AFCON?
is it the man that I've heard stories? I've heard stories that he's not a right back, but we know that he plays right back for his club in Spain. But he plays center forward for his
Mm.
country.
Yeah, and so
He
wait. Before let me ask the person that is history and knows all those tidbits and
Okay.
trivia. Who is the highest goal scorer in AFCON right now?
that's Emiliano Insue. That's the Equatorial Guinea captain.
Uh-huh. So what position does he play for his club?
He's a right back.
So I heard someone that he said he doesn't play right back, that he only played for a while there or something.
Oh no, he's a right back. In fact, it was in the Spain under-21 team in the early 2010s.
Yeah, so
The team that had Mata, Thiago, De Gea, etc. So yeah, it was a right back in that. I think it was the backup right back in that team. I think it was Rado that was starter.
Wow.
So it's mostly a right back, but it's one of those multifunctional players. I know there used to be one at Juve, I think 6-7 years ago, that used to play either up top or in defensive midfield. So
crazy.
Yeah, so it's not exactly on
but so apparently I heard he's the highest goal scorer too for the country.
Well, he has
He has
scored
a
5 goals
record.
this AFCON. I don't think anybody has scored 5 goals for that country before.
Man, AFCON is crazy.
Yeah.
And so full disclosure, right? Beginning of this AFCON, I was really like enthused. I wasn't like, oh, I want to watch AFCON. But my friends were like, you have a podcast, you have to watch, or watch, if you just watch highlights, if you cannot watch the full games. I was like, you know what, let me try. So I started watching some of the games. I was like, wow, the quality of the game football has really improved compared to the last one. Like, the last one, people were just crossing as if they were, I don't know, what's the Jesus Christ cross joke. Like, he just crossed the ball all the way to nobody, and it's going to Rosie. But this time around, like, it's more like passes, even though it's like a little bit score free here and there, but the football is kind of good. The pitch is not 100% good, like the pitch that we used against the Ivorians. That was very horrible.
Yeah, we played on the watch.
Was very horrible. But apart from that, even the officiating has been, I would say, 100% in my opinion. Because some of the calls, I'd be like, that's a goal or that's a foul. Then when they showed you the play, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are spot on. So I think we need to give props. I know Dotun doesn't like Africans in general.
So I've actually been very impressed with the AFCON, and it's mostly for the things that we've learned, the things we see everywhere. We've been able to infuse it properly into our game. So it's not a matter of we've even seen there I think like 2 or 3 former Premier League coaches in the AFCON.
Yes.
I know of Ifedotun, I know of Avram Grant.
Yeah.
Right. They're not the top tiers, but at least they've learned something. They've coached a couple of good players here and there, and all of that. And you can see one of them coaching. I don't think Ghana played bad.
Yeah, they're just unfortunate.
I don't think they played bad. I think it was just meant to be for them. Same thing with Zambia. I don't think Zambia played bad as well, especially when you consider the teams that they played against, right? And
the quality of coaching.
Yeah. So it's not even like the quality of coaching was top notch. It's just that there's an obvious difference between what we're used to from Zambia and what we saw. Like I saw Mauritania against Angola. I think that game was 3-2 or something like that. It was a very good watch.
It was a good watch.
I saw Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau as well. It was a very good watch as well. So by the time you see how there's this guy in I think in Cape Verde, the right back. He plays for Las Palmas or so.
Yeah.
There is Bebe in Rayo Vallecano. The things they learn in these places, right? They are able to just That's why I even paid attention
put
this time
together.
around, because by the time I saw the list of players that were leaving their clubs to come and play in the AFCON, then you're like, okay, it won't be so bad. It won't be so bad. So the same thing with the VAR, same thing with, we've seen all these things abroad, and we had to come and
Yeah,
infuse
we
it
are
here, and we are doing
good as
it
well.
very well.
Very.
So
Mhm.
it's very impressive to say the least.
So I have a question for Duwem. Since you are, let's move into Nigerian terrain. Since you are very familiar with our football and personnel and players abroad and at home.
Dotto is too.
I know. I know Dotun is. I know the kind of question I'm going to ask Dotun. But for you, right? Since you report on this a lot of these players,
Okay.
um,
All right.
someone spoke with me about how all these countries have been able to bring in foreign-born players back to the country to play this tournament. What do you
Yeah.
think has stopped us from being able to attract this type of players back home too? And what do you think we need to do to attract them? What do we need to put in place to bring them home?
I I don't know what you mean by attract, because almost all the best players so far for Nigeria at the tournament have been players who were born outside. Ola Aina, Calvin Bassi, Chus Akon, um, what's his name again? Almost all of them. So, but I
Lookman,
think one thing with Lukman, thank you, Ademola Lukman, so almost all the best players so far for Nigeria have been players born outside. So, but I think if you're talking about attracting more, uh, I think one thing we do is that we don't relate to with these guys early enough. So we leave it to these guys when they blow. I always say that thing. When you allow these guys blow in court, it makes it. If I was born outside Nigeria and you allow me to blow, chances are that I will say no to Nigeria. You understand? I will say no to Nigeria. Look at Eberezu for instance. You don't wait for people like this to blow. You identify these guys early enough. Victor Moses was allowed we allowed England to ignore Victor Moses for a very long time before we finally made the move. Meanwhile, I always say this that we are Nigeria. Yes, we want our players to be in some of the best clubs, but we also need to understand that they all do not need to be in all the big clubs for them to be very useful to us. So especially those ones born outside, don't wait for them to hit it big before you go to them. Identify with them early enough. I think there's this thing Morocco did once where they set up camps in various European countries where they try to identify some of their players very early enough, right from under 17 to under 20 and all that. So the idea is to acquaint themselves with these guys as soon as possible. Because whether you like it or not, these guys are exposed to things that those down here are not really exposed to. We all want to be exposed to these things, but we already have some of these things there. So I think for Nigeria, we don't do quite enough to get acquainted with them early enough. So and when they blow like somebody was it Village, for example, or Michael Olisa, it's difficult for them to want to pick Nigeria. They want to stay with where they played a lot of youth football. But I think we've done fine. We just need to incorporate more of the home based guys as well. We've neglected the home based guys too, where we have a lot of very good talent. Because if you check, apart from those born outside, other ones too come from Nigeria. So there's talent here in Nigeria, and we need to do something about that.
So, Dotun, do you think in that same vein, do you think Nigeria is suffering from too much talent?
No, I don't think so. And my reason
See
is very
what's that
simple, right? We are a very top-heavy team, right? Most of the players that we have that we think are good are mostly concentrated in the top half of the field.
And wait,
forward.
but there's a reason for that. Growing up,
No, of
all of
course,
us wanted
of
to
course,
be
of course. Because
strikers.
when we're younger and we want to play ball,
You want to
everybody
score.
said, "I want to be a striker. I want to be a striker." So we are reaping the reward of that. But that's not even the problem. So the problem is if you say you have a big pool of talent, then you have talent all around the squad. Like, yes, I know it's an overkill, but let me just use France as an example. So if you look at the type of centre backs that France have, they have Konate, they have Todibo, they have Saliba. Varane is 30, he can retire in peace. Do you understand? They have the twins. They have Lucas Hernandez. They have a lot of people. They have Upamecano. They have Disasi. Do you understand? It just in centre back. Now, if you go to the right back, they have a lot of them. If you go to left back, they have a lot of them. Players like Lucas Digne rarely get a look in. Right? If you go to midfield, it's the same thing. So that's why you say there is quality everywhere. Right? For us, going into the tournament, into this AFCON, a lot of us didn't know who Stanley Nwabali was before the tournament.
Correct.
Except you follow the local league and you
Yeah.
and you know of Posero's movement, because I know that he, like in October, November, he went to South Africa to go and watch him live. So that's why I even know him. I didn't even know him when he was in Nigeria. Do you understand? So when you say too much talent, if you look up front and you see Osimhen, Boniface, Umar Sadiq, Lukman, Kelechi, Chukwueze, Onachu,
Simon.
even the people that missed out, Emmanuel Dennis, Gift Urban, Nathan Teller, then you say that is talent. But by the time you do the same metrics all around the field, you see that, I mean, we took only 3 midfielders or 4 midfielders. So you know that we don't really have midfielders and all of that. So I don't think we are suffering from if we are suffering from anything, it's back to ripping 20 years ago where everybody wanted to be a striker.
Growing up, we didn't even know like the idea of passing the ball. That somebody wants to be a midfielder and wants to pass the ball. All we wanted to do was dribble and score. It's crazy.
No, we did.
You did? They taught you?
Yes. Like if you, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember Kanta, bro. Where you play with buttons and all this thing. The best players were midfielders, not really strikers. Yes, everybody wanted to be a striker. You wanted to score goals, But if you notice, we always wanted our number 10. The number 10 was always known as the best player.
That knows how to dribble. That knows how to
dribble. Yeah, that kind of thing, the passes and all that, But like what you said, at the end of the day, we've always known who scored the goal, and I think that has taken a big toll. So even with our coach, he probably believes that all he needs just as many forwards as possible. I mean, he was ready to go to Nations Cup with just 3 midfielders, because whenever we put Iwobi in there, Iwobi for me is a forward. Yes, he can play in midfield. But if you take him out, we're going to the Nations Cup with Ndidi, Onyeka, and who's the other guy? I think it was just Ndidi and Onyeka that were really central midfielders we had. Yes, Onyedika. And we know that this man does not really trust Onyedika that much, even though Onyedika, for me, is our best defensive midfielder at the moment. So he was okay going to the Nations Cup because this thing before Ndidi's injury, unfortunate injury, forced his hand. He now brought in Al Hassan. So imagine Ndidi was fit. Al Hassan will be watching from home. He will be watching from home, So Al Hassan, Onyedika, 2 of our brightest midfield talents, will not really get looking simply because somebody is, and then we have 10 forwards, bro.
Okay, so Dotu, my next question is, what are our chances of getting going all the way to the final? I'm not even saying winning it, because winning is another kettle of fish. But what are our chances? What are our chances going all the way to the final?
So interestingly, if you look at our squad, you assume that we'll get the most joy up front, but the reverse has been the case. We've had a reverse Nations Cup. Our best game so far in my opinion, has been against Ivory Coast, and it was mostly because we were defensively astute, right? As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
I think that match was played on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
was it on Monday?
It's a Monday.
Yeah, that match was played on Monday. From Monday to now, if that match had gone on, Ivory Coast were never going to score.
No. So that was Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau was on Monday.
Monday, okay, so the other one was on Thursday then.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in fact, even makes it better. So from Thursday to this Wednesday, that's 1 week. Ivory Coast were never going to score. Right? We were in control of that match all the way. Right? You could see stellar performances from Bassi, from Ekong, from Aino. Even Semi Ajayi and Zedus Sanusi that I did not call, they had very, very solid performances. Same thing with Onyeka. And Stanley Wabali looked very, very confident. And I mean, considering what we've seen in goal for the last 2-3 years, error free. Do you understand? Now, going into the Nations Cup, I assume that the players that are going to take us as far as possible will be Osimhen, Lookman, etc., right? But if we're going to get anything from this tournament, we have to remain like airtight at the back, right? Because we've gone behind just once and we equalized in 1 minute. I don't think we have the composure to break down opponents in a deep block, especially in the knockout round. So I fear for us if we go behind, especially against a good team. Do you understand? So I feel like if our defense remains the way that it has been so far, our goalkeeper remains the same thing. We created a lot. I think we've missed the most chances in this AFCON.
Yes.
So we've been very, very, very we've missed a lot of chances. We've been lackluster with chances.
You know what that sounds like?
What does it sound like?
What team both of you support? What club both of you support?
Oh, that's Story Fan. That's almost Story Fan. But and it's not even about the chances missed. So there are also bad decisions in the final third. So it's not even sometimes the shot does not even go off. Somebody just makes a wrong pass or something like that. So if we get it right and we remain the way we are at the back, then we can progress. I know that the draw was not kind to us. So play Cameroon next.
Yes.
I think after Cameroon, it's going to be another tough opponent or something like that as well. So it all boils down to more of the same. I think Posero has struck gold with his back five. So even if we do not exactly have a quality back four or a quality defense line, we've made up for it with quantity. So, and these players are even used to playing in those systems at their club. Calvin Bassett has played in the back five multiple times for Fulham. Olaino does that all the time with Forest. Zedu Sanusi does it with Porto in some games. Semi Ajayi does it for West Brom in some games as well. So it's more of the same at the back. Gets better in front, then we'll hope for the best.
So, Duwem, apart from Nigeria, which country do you think will go all the way?
Which country? Apart from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're keeping Senegal. I think Senegal they've been my favorites. So I think they will defend the title. They can defend the title. For Nigeria, somehow, I hope we go all the way. But the performance so far for me, defense has been really, really good. Maybe because we've been playing quite deep and all. It has worked so far. It's a cup, so you can just house your way to the final if you can. So like you said,
just beat
the
who's in
defense
front of
can.
you.
Yeah. So if the defense can remain the way they are playing right now, and then the attack, at least I don't think we've looked so brilliant in terms of performance and all that, but we've created the most chances. We've missed the most chances. So perhaps we should start putting those chances. Maybe if we put one or two extra or three, because we're about to beat teams that are, for example, we are playing Cameroon next. Yes, they struggle to get in, but they've scored more goals. That is a big problem. So if we meet teams that actually know how to score, how are we going to contend them? So we need to also show them that we can score. I mean, we've not played well, but we created chances, which is a good thing. So let's put one or two of those goals so that teams can actually be scared of us. Because that's something I like to see in teams that I support. I believe that one thing about football is that it can be very psychological. So when, for example, everyone is scared of taking on Senegal right now, not because they can't make mistakes, but because these guys can punish you at any time. So when you have that psychological advantage that see we can punish you and punish you at any time, it can really help. So when I watch teams that I support and I don't see that, it gives me concern. So for now, I do not think Super Eagles look like a team that can punish, even though we created situations where we should be able to punish team. If we can sort that out, I think Nigeria can, apart from Senegal. Then which other country? I think there's a dark horse somewhere. There's a dark horse somewhere. I don't know what tourism is planning. I don't know what Cape Verde is planning. But see these two teams, I think they can spring surprises alongside the AFC Congo. The AFC Congo has played some of the best football in AFCON, and they play Egypt next. If they can get past Egypt, so yeah.
So, Dotun, why do you think? Because I noticed a trend. Why do you think the Northern African countries, are not doing well as previous competitions?
Okay, so if you like I said, AFCON is the leveler, right? Most of these guys believe that, or what they've used to bamboozle us in the past is mostly technical security, right? I think the quality of their leagues is better than ours, right?
Yeah, by far.
They've paid attention. They've been paying attention to it since, while we were just being physical and energy and all of that. They paid attention to details, and the rest of Africa has caught up. It's that simple, right? I saw um Algeria play against I saw Algeria lose to Mauritania
No,
yesterday.
Tony, it was crazy.
Yeah, I watched the game. I watched the Morocco Zambia game today as well. Right. I mean, Morocco is levels ahead of Zambia, but Zambia still managed to hold. It was 1-0 at the end, and there was even a scruffy goal. Do you understand? So I saw Egypt Cape Verde. I saw Egypt Mozambique. I didn't see the Egypt Ghana game. I was busy that day. Right, and these teams can't keep up. So that's just what happens. It's just before there was a big gap. Now the gap is smaller. That's just it. It's nothing. Football is mostly an humbling experience. When you just think that you're the best and you're not making effort to widen the gap between you and the people behind you, eventually they'll catch up. To get into the top is very, very easy. It's staying there that's the hard
Staying
part.
there.
Yeah. So I
And
just
it's
think,
crazy. It's crazy how Algeria they're last in their group.
again, AFCON is a leveler.
But me, I'm kind of happy though. Like
Algeria
I'm
should
happy
have
that they're
lost.
struggling.
Okay, no, I didn't watch the Algeria Angola game. I watched the Algeria Burkina Faso game. They should have lost that game. They were very lucky to pick up a point.
Wow, that's crazy. So we have Algeria out, we have Tunisia out, we have Egypt winning, or Egypt struggling to make the next round. Wow. Then Morocco too. So do you think Morocco is good enough to win it?
Yeah, definitely. Before the tournament, they were even my favorite. So I'm not surprised by what they're doing so far.
I watched Senegal's games, and I feel like those guys, there's just something about them, the way they play. They're not
If they
playing
don't meet
like it's
before,
not
if they don't
crisp.
meet before the final, they'll play the final.
So Morocco, Senegal in the
Yeah,
final. Because the way Senegal plays, like the play is not crisp, but as Duwem said, they know how
it's
to score, they know
effective.
how to punish you. Very effective football. It's crazy. Um, so speaking of effectiveness, Osimhen has not been able to, I would say, capitalize on a few what's it called, on the chances that he's been given. Do you guys think, Duwem, do you think it's enough reason for Arsenal not to want him anymore?
Well, cool. If what is enough reason.
Osimhen, he hasn't taken. I mean, I've had a lot of Arsenal fans message me that they're not sure of Osimhen. They're not sure about him coming to Arsenal anymore. Do you think his performance, or I would say his performance, because he has performed to me above average. He's been okay, but his chances conversion rate has been very low. Do you think it's enough reason for Arsenal to want to back out signing him?
People that have Gabriel Jesus in case they are leading their Oh my God! Anyway, well, fans will always react. Yes, we need Osimhen to be doing better in terms of the chances he's had so far. But what I will always say as well, it's not like he doesn't miss chances, even at his clubs. Or is there someone they are going to sign? I think Haaland already has 18 chances, big chances made this season in the Premier League. So these guys, all these so-called elite guys, would always miss a lot of chances, basically because they're always there. So, but the good thing is, I don't know if I even want him to go to Arsenal, but Arsenal dominate a lot, which will work very well with Osimhen. They're a very dominant side, and that should work with Osimhen's favor. So they're always on the ball. So if they are looking at what is happening at AFCON and using that to judge him well, they are welcome to do that. I don't think Nigeria has dominated enough for me because I always want to see a team like Nigeria controlling things, dictating play, which is what Arsenal does. So that should help Osimhen. But for now, AFCON is not really. AFCON is like it's a cup competition. Let's not forget that. I'm not saying it's very difficult. Very difficult, and it's more physical than anything else. So I think he would do well at Arsenal, but if they don't want him, it's fine. I mean, Osimhen is not begging Arsenal to come. Arsenal should be begging Osimhen. Arsenal should be begging Osimhen.
So
one
let
thing
me
I do
even
know
chip
is
in.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me even chip in. If
Mm-hmm.
you look at the best players that this continent has produced, so let's say right now at the moment, good AFCONs as Salah had,
0.
Drogba had.
I'll say one. I say
mean,
one because he went all the way to the final.
So Arsenal should be begging Osimhen because they are the ones who need the centre forward. And I've said this thing right from 4 years ago when Osimhen was still trying to find his way from V and all that. That this guy is like a 20 goals plus striker.
Yes.
Arsenal don't have that. There is no doubt that Osimhen has everything to supply you 20 goals in the league alone. And he's quite suited for the English league. When Napoli lost Spalletti, I was like, okay, it's going to be a difficult season for him because I looked at the appointment of Garcia and I'm like, this is an inferior
manager.
Replacement. So it's going to affect this guy. When they appointed Spalletti, I knew immediately. I said to myself that if Osimhen did not blow under Spalletti, he would not blow under
anybody.
Yes, so it was quite clear. So I think Arsenal play very good football that should suit Osimhen, but they should be the one breaking.
So, Dotun, you were saying something about our stars.
Yeah, I was saying that we play
AFCON.
different. We play different ball here. You will rarely find people that are doing well in Europe and they did well in the AFCON as well. Maybe you see one person that does well in Europe and he has one good AFCON, but to see someone that's
this guy don't come out again.
His network is giving him problems.
Nigeria, and its problems. But yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I understand what he's trying to say because it's very rare for you to find someone, a player in that has had good. It's crazy because, and this happens a lot of times, even in European Championship too, where they will do very well in that particular season, and
And somebody
there's
will
all
buy
eyes
them
on them.
after,
Yes,
and
and
you
somebody's like looking
realize
at
you
them
bought
like.
bomb. So it happens a lot. So I'm not 4 weeks or 3 weeks does not define a player, right? Yes, he can help his legacy. Yes, he can reduce from his legacy and all of that, but it does not exactly define a player. I think Osimhen has 7 goals in 13 games this season for Napoli in the league, and they've not even played well. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So it doesn't mean. I mean, obviously, you should be doing better because this statement will not be complete without pointing out the fact that he should be doing better. But
Doing better. Yeah.
yeah, but at the end of the day, man. Also, I don't think this is not a jab. I don't think Arsenal have
The money.
the elite squad to pay. Right. I think there are only 3 teams in Europe that are capable of paying that money. I think one will not be interested in him, and that's Real Madrid. Right. The other 2 are Chelsea and PSG.
You've forgotten your foolish club.
United don't have 100 million to spend on any player at the moment.
Okay.
What United is going to, I know it's off topic, but and I cannot exactly see the future, but I feel like United is going to look for bargains for the next 2-3 years and
good.
settle down.
Jesus
So
Christ.
that's a story for another day. So
Please don't break
I
my
also
heart.
don't think I think Todd Bowley is a businessman, and businessmen always know how to find their way around financial restrictions. I'm a banker, I know all these things. The money will come out
When
by
you
hook
come
or
out,
by crook, and
something.
they would find a way to say that they are still within FFP restrictions and all those things. So I think Chelsea can pay. I think Madrid can pay. I think PSG can pay.
So
But I don't think Madrid will be. I think they have this Mbappe obsession, and
yeah,
I don't think Perez wants an African guy to come and lead the line for the next 5 years or something like that. So,
but
yeah.
speaking of that, right? Where do you think Osimhen fits in perfectly?
I think he will end up at
Chelsea.
Chelsea. I think he will end up at Chelsea.
No. I mean, forget about where it's going to end up.
So fitting, I think it would fit in better at Chelsea. The way Arsenal have set up their team, right? They want to play one. Okay, so I class strikers as 2 type of strikers. It's just in my head. So there's some strikers you play through, and there's some strikers you play to. Right? If you watch someone like Erling Haaland, City intentionally remove him from their build-up phase and all those things. It's not that he cannot do it, because we've seen him do it at Dortmund, we've seen him do it at Salzburg, right? He can play ball, but he's not the best at it. So City play to him, just finish the chances and get away with it. Now, if you watch someone like maybe Ivan Toney, maybe someone like Harry Kane, their teams play through them. You see how they interplay with people around, link up here, knock here, and all of that. I think the system that Arteta has built in Arsenal, they need a striker to play through. They want somebody that can come out, link, and leave spaces for the likes of Martinelli and Saka. Because as far as I'm concerned, those are the 2 people that he has the most hope in. Saka and Martinelli. So if you play a striker for them to play 2, it might be funny. It might end up being, because if you watch Arsenal's games, the people that take the most shots are the wide men and maybe Odegaard. So it's not like they are creating that. I mean, they create, but if you bring in someone like Osimhen, we've seen the way he played at Napoli last season, where it was getting on the end of multiple chances. They play ball into the channel for him. They trust him one-on-one against defenders. That's not what Arsenal strikers do now. You're more likely to see a Nico Jackson do it. You're more likely to see a Kopama in Force Night, Sterling in Force Night do those things that Osimhen is really good at. So I think that in terms of structure, style, and the player's best abilities, I think Chelsea will fit him better. Doesn't mean that Chelsea is not a better team than Arsenal at the moment, right? If you want to win something now, where is the better place to go to? I think it might be Arsenal, but in terms of
Arsenal win something?
Arsenal is in a better position than Chelsea at the moment.
But Chelsea's doing well in, is it FA Cup or Carling Cup?
The Carabao Cup, bro. I say something all the time. And it has caused fights in plenty places.
Yes.
If you don't FA Cup and Carling Cups, they are good to have. They are good to win. They don't necessarily point the direction you are headed as a team.
But it helps.
You know what's funny?
You know
what's funny? You know what's funny? The manager who's also emphasized this point just got to the final.
Exactly. And he says he wants to win. He said he wants to win.
He said he wants to win. Yeah.
So what's wrong with you?
So let me explain very well so that I'm not misunderstood. Now, a league is 38 games, and you have to play everybody around. The Champions League, you're playing against the best teams in the country and outside the country. Do you understand? Now, in the FA Cup, it's mostly 1, luck of draws, 2, largely rotated squads, right? And people don't necessarily take it serious up until maybe you get to the quarterfinal or semi-final. That's FA Cup and Carabao Cup, right? So if a City team, for example, decide that they want to take the Carabao Cup seriously from day one, they'll probably just bulldoze their way up to the final. It doesn't tell you how good they are. What tells you how good they are is their performances consistently in the league and when they were up against the big boys. Now, a trophy is a trophy. If you win the Carabao Cup, you've won something. Nobody can take it away from you. My point is, it does not point the direction in which you are heading. If I win the league, I can say I've turned the corner. If I win the Champions League, I can say I've done something spectacular. If I win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, I've won a trophy.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. And I'll use, since 3 of us are United fans, I will just use 2 United cycles for you, or 3 different United cycles. The first cycle is Van Gaal, where United won the FA Cup. He did nothing for United. In fact, he got sacked. The second one is when Jose won the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. The next season, he won nothing. He finished second, right? He said that season that he finished second was a better season than the one before. Right? Yeah. Because United were, in quotes, consistent in large periods of time. Do you understand? Now, the third one is last season, United won the Carabao Cup, and they've gotten worse than they were last season. So those cups, they are good to have. Don't get me wrong, and don't misquote me. They are good to have. However, Arsenal did not win anything 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago, but you can see their performances are getting better. They're not there yet. They might not get there yet, but their league performances is speaking that, something is happening here. If they've won the FA Cup last season and they've done the rubbish that they've been doing in the league for 6-7 years ago, I won't take them serious. I'm only taking them serious because of the consistency they've shown at the top level.
So I will not argue against what you said. It makes perfect sense. But if there's a club that makes that jump out of nowhere, it's
Chelsea can win anything, of course. No,
so course. that's what I'm like.
They're a bit lax now because Roman had gone. But when Roman was there, every match is a must win. Every competition, you must put in your best. Whenever they drop I think they've won the Europa League twice. They won one in 2013. They won one in 2019. And in both seasons, I think they dropped out of the Champions League group stage or something like that. Yeah. So imagine dropping out of Champions League group stage, going to the Europa League, and do you understand? It means that they still took it seriously. Yeah. So that's Chelsea for you. Whatever. Even Pochettino knows he needs a cup.
He knows now. What I'm saying.
It's not necessarily to say I have arrived. It is
it's
let me remove pressure from my back
to stay on his job. Yeah,
exactly. So he helps, no doubt. He helps, but if he wins this Carabao Cup, it does not mean that he has now arrived as Chelsea manager. They will still dent his mouth in the
league. Okay, so let's start previewing the round of 16 in AFCON, since we're not interested in foreign football right now. So we have Angola playing Namibia. We have Nigeria play Cameroon on Saturday. So what do you guys think? Nigeria, Cameroon. Duwem?
Yeah?
Nigeria, Cameroon. What do you think?
Algeria, Cameroon.
Nigeria, Cameroon.
Oh.
Stay focused. AFCON.
Oh, okay. I think it's quite dicey. I've never been scared of Cameroon at this particular stage. If it was a final now, I probably would be very scared that something might happen. So I think Nigeria will get over that. It might not be pretty, but I think Nigeria might just do enough to make it to the last eight.
Yeah, but
I've never been scared of Cameroon at this point of AFCON at any time.
But it's Cameroon though, eternal rivals.
Yeah. Yes, it's Cameroon. That's why I said at this stage, any stage that is not a final, I will not be scared of being on to the level. In fact, I think I should go dig up an article I wrote one time that we were about to play them. Like I outlined, I think a couple of reasons why I was too sure that Nigeria will beat Cameroon, and at the end of the day, we defeated them. So I might go dig up that thing on my Facebook because. Yes, we have that. We've probably lost more finals to them than any other team.
Yes, we lost 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if it's semi-final, quarter-final, round of 16, I'm always quite confident that we will give them a hard time. So, I'm not exactly scared. The only thing is that I wish Nigeria would play really. Sometimes you can play well and not win, and other times you play dirty and
you win.
Yes. I always like to complain with the win. I might not like what I might not like what I watched, but I will still let you know that. See, yes, you won. No, it's fine, but I expected more. So I prefer to complain. I don't like complaining with the people because a lot of people do not get it. Even when they win and you complain and point out things, they feel you're not enjoying the victory. Meanwhile, you know that things can be better. You want things to be better, but I always prefer complaining with the win. So I think Nigeria will go through.
We have to win, because the whole of Africa will troll us. Because we're trolling the whole of Africa. We have to win. Because Ghanaians are waiting for us. Even Cameroonians are waiting for us.
We cannot afford not to win. We cannot afford not to win.
Hopefully.
We cannot afford not to win. Let's just go all the way. Because it will not happen.
The whole of Africa will just. But then Angola, Namibia. I've not seen any game Angola and Namibia has played, so I can't really say much about that.
I think that is anybody's game. One thing with all these guys is that I think they've done okay at the tournament. Maybe I would just. I think Angola based on experience. Namibia, they've already made history, and that might just be okay for them. So I think based on experience, Angola for me, yeah.
Then
I don't think Namibia would pull up more surprises. They've already done more than enough, but I can't write them more.
Because of their experience, that makes sense. So Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea. Egypt
one of the games of the round. Equatorial Guinea. Can Guinea stop them? Those guys are on rampage and they are quite high on confidence. I don't know. Can Guinea? That's quite difficult to say.
The Battle of the Guineas.
Yeah. See, I'm going to stick with. I think I'm going to stick with Equatorial Guinea. If I perish, I perish.
But Equatorial Guinea is more experienced than. Sorry, Guinea is more experienced than Equatorial
Guinea. Is more experienced than yes, but I'm going to go with form. I think Equatorial Guinea is in form right now, and they are playing quite well, very compact, and scoring goals. As long as is fit, I will stick with them. Like I said, whatever happens. There won't be any shame if they don't win. So Equatorial Guinea to go through. Guinea can go home for beating Nigeria at that point.
Then how about Egypt, DR Congo, Democratic
DR
Republic of
Congo
Congo.
dominated Morocco, who are in better shape than Egypt. But there's this never say die attitude Egypt has that is always leading them. So I think GRC play, like I said before, they played some of the best football so far, but they are not taking their chances like Nigeria. They didn't take the chances against Morocco. If they did, they would have defeated Morocco. Probably Morocco will be out of the tournament right now. So I feel they will remain the same against Egypt. But the question is, can they make these chances count? There is no Salah now, so there is no X factor to focus on or to instill fear in them. So I don't know if that will be enough to get them over the line. But see, they are my in-laws, so
So, funny story. I have someone that comes a lot on the podcast, and his girlfriend is from Cape Verde. So, and now they are facing Mauritania. What do you think is going to win that game?
Cape Verde.
Easy, right?
Yeah, that's easy prediction. I think like Namibia, Mauritania, they've already made history. I think they can comfort themselves with that. They won their first game, got into the round of 16 for the first time. I think that is enough. So Cape Verde, it will be a shocker. It will be a shocker for Cape Verde to lose
that game.
Yes, it will be a shocker. I don't see Mauritania doing back-to-back shots. Producing two of the biggest shocks of AFCON. I don't see it happening. They've already sent Algeria packing. For them to add
another one, yeah. Then
back-to-back, I don't see it.
Then the game of the round, Senegal, Ivory Coast.
Senegal, Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast sneaked in.
Station.
They totally, I think the only good thing about Ivory Coast is that I've seen some pretty girls from Ivory Coast. Bro, one more chance to see them with the tournament. I don't see this Ivorian team stopping this moving trend called Senegal. Nah, I don't see. Bro, these guys were trash force by Equatorial Guinea. Yes, I know football is not mathematics. No two games are the same. But bro, it's Senegal. So like I said, the good thing is the Ivorian ladies are back. We get to see them one more time.
Someone made a trade on Twitter on the African women.
Women, yes. I told myself that next Nations Cup I have to attend, bro.
You're not married. Anyways,
I'm not married. I was attend.
It's enough. I hear you. Mali, Burkina Faso.
Eagles. Mali, Burkina Faso. I think Mali will take that. Mali has been really.
No,
really
Duwem, sorry, you missed something. So you missed something when you're talking about the Senegal Ivory Coast game. So you guys know that Ivory Coast have fired their coach, right?
They did? Yeah, they fired their coach.
Okay, so who's going to coach against Senegal?
Wow. They did.
Assistant.
Wow, I missed that. Wow. That's
they fired
crazy.
him today.
Wow, I missed that. How did that happen? Wow.
They're not smiling.
Okay. So Morocco.
So maybe the assistant will take over.
Morocco, South Africa.
This is quite an interesting game. Morocco.
Okay. So Dotun, you did not say your 2 cents or Nigeria, Cameroon. This man has left again. Keeps going in and out. Anyways,
I think it is. network or something.
Yeah, network is bad. Anyways, it's been a topsy-turvy episode because this is what we face when we try to record with people from in Nigeria. But at least we made it happen. We made it happen. So thank
No,
you,
vex.
Kevin. No, it's fine.
Thank
We'll
you,
do
sir.
better. We'll do better next time. Hopefully our listeners will bear with us. We tried to keep it together.
Can you hear me?
Doctor, are you back?
Oh,
I
okay.
can hear you.
So
You're just going
I
in
think
and
we'll
out.
beat them. I think we'll beat Cameroon, right? The way they set up and the way we set up plays right into our hands, right? They have a more dominant shape, so they tend to step out and leave spaces in behind, and that is what the type of forwards that we have, like players like Lookman, players like Simon Moses, players like Lookman, players like Osimhen. They want to get in behind the defense. They don't necessarily want to play in front of the defense. So if we hold our own in midfield and in defense, and we can be very, very decisive on the break, I think we'll beat them, and I think we'll beat them easily too. My hot take is Equatorial Guinea have come to the end of the road.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Guinea is going to beat them. Knockout football is unforgiving. And for the people that have played their hands in the group stage, I think everybody's a lot more wary about them, and it's easy to shapeshift to accommodate their brilliance. So we've seen Equatorial Guinea. I don't think they can. Against Nigeria, we were surprised, right? Because we were not expecting anything from them, and we played 1-0 with them. In the second game, I think they're better than Guinea-Bissau. In the third game, I think Ivory Coast have been bad in the Cup, I can't lie. But they just got is it reckless? At 1-0, there was a game to be played, and they just threw everybody up front with reckless abandon and all of that, and they got properly embarrassed. But I think that since it's a knockout game, I think everybody's going to be a lot more careful, and we'll actually see aspects to their games that we've not seen. I was going to say the same thing with Cape Verde, but I think they are a lot better than Mauritania. I think Mauritania is going to stress them a lot. Because I watch Mauritania, Algeria, I watch Mauritania, Angola. Mauritania is going to stress Cape Verde a lot. So they have this left winger that is right-footed, that has a mean shot on him. I mean, proper mean shot, right? And their goalkeeper is very, very, very good. So they're going to stress Cape Verde. I think the other games are straightforward. I think Angola will beat Namibia. I think Egypt too, end of the road. Who else is playing? Morocco beat South Africa. Senegal, Ivory Coast, done in the first 20 minutes. Which Mali played the game? Please remind me.
Hold on, let me check. So Mali's.
I'm looking at Mali with the side of my eye. They are one of
Burkina Faso.
They're playing Burkina Faso. Ooh, that's going to be tricky. That's very tricky because Burkina Faso. Because I was going to say that I think for semis, if they don't meet before the semis, I've really not looked at the brackets, right? I think Senegal can go all the way. I think Morocco can go all the way. These are teams that are disciplined on and off the ball, and they have quality to match, right? So I was going to say that the teams I'm looking at with the side of my eyes are Mali and Burkina Faso. Yeah, that's me being a neutral. As a Nigerian, we are winning the cup. But but to look at it in its entirety, I think that those 4 teams that are called are the 4 teams that can actually give us proper problems. If I add DRC too, then those are the teams that can give us problems. I think any other person that will be mostly fine. But watch out for something. The Morocco-South Africa game, if South Africa go in front, Morocco, they're finished.
Wow.
I watched South Africa waste Tunisia's time today for 90 minutes. They pass the ball around, and they will counter. And when Tunisia is running back, they will go back to their post. They wasted their time for 90 minutes today. So if they go in front, you are going to see North African time wasting from the South Africans. Yeah.
Love it. Anyways, thanks guys for showing up all the way from Nigeria and staying awake. hopefully next time we speak, your internet will work better, and
And
but we
naira
understand.
to dollar too will be better.
Amen. Oh, amen. Amen. That's a very good prayer. But thanks, guys, for showing up. Hopefully, would speak. I think after the next 2 rounds, I'll have you guys come back and let's review AFCON. Let's continue reviewing, and let's try to export and advertise our football. It's not every time we talk about European football. Maybe one day too, I'll bring you guys back to talk about the Nigerian Professional Football League, NPFL. I don't want to change it from is it NFL?
MPFL. Yeah, it was
NPFL, but
MPFL, yeah, Nigeria Premier
it
Football.
was MPL before. Nigeria Premier League.
NPL, yes, yeah. Like they just keep confusing people. But anyways, thanks, guys, and I really appreciate. I really appreciate. All right.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
Yeah.
Yep.